the one, the only, Ben Sion. Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Daily Doubles. We continue the last parak of Masech Shekalim, Parak Ches, Mishnayos Beis and Gimel. Mishnah Beis states, Kol HaKelim Anim Soim Yerushalayim. All the Kelim, you have utensils that could become Tameh. You can be told of them in the mikvah. Derech Yerida Lebeis HaTfilah Tmein. It used to be when they had a mikvah, at least for people and for Kelim, you went in on one side, and then when you came out on the other side. They didn't want people to come in kind of at the same time, because if you come out after you went to the mikvah, you're taller, then you're gonna maybe touch a person who's tummy going into the mikvah. So if you find the kelim on the steps going into the mikvah, we assume they're tummy. You wanted to be matayar them, so they're tummy. Derech aliyah tahorim. If you find them on the steps coming out of the mikvah, we assume they already went in the mikvah. They're tar. Shalogi derech yudasan aliyasan. That's the mikvahs were built. There was one way going in, one way going out. Divrei Rabbi Meir. That's Rabbi Meir's opinion. We also Omer kulan tahor, and even the ones on the way down are tahor. Chutz min atzal and magrefa mamirza hamiyuchad and lakvar, except for certain kelim, a basket or a magrefa. Magrefa was used to take the bones of dead people and to put them into a basket. Amirza is basically when you crush the bones. It was a sharp instrument used to crush the bones. So to put them in a basket, those were used for corpses, for the bones of corpses of dead people. So therefore, those we assume are tameh. However, even the ones on the way down, it's only a suffix tuma. And suffix tuma, we go lakula. Now, you might ask, suffix daraisa, normally go lachumra. And here it's in a mikvah, which is maybe a Rosh Yachid. So we know suffix tuma, Rosh Yachid. You go lachumra. He says in Yerushalayim, they weren't gozer al safek kelim Yerushalayim. Hard to understand, but it should be midaraisa safek lechumra. I'll talk about that in Ian Mitzion in the separate Ian share. Mishnah Gimel sakin shenimse ba'arbasar. You find a knife on the 14th day of Nisan. Shochet ba'miyad. You could assume, right? People when they brought their korban pesach, they had to shecht it with a knife, which was tar, because it was tameh, it was tameh the korban pesach. You can't bring a korban to the Beis HaMikdash, which is tameh. So, if you found it on the 14th day, right, you need to, if it's tameh, you have to bring it to the mikvah, and you have to wait Harav Shemesh. They shechted the korban pesach on the 14th day, before Shkia. So, if it's on the 14th day, it must have been tovel yesterday, so it's tar. Shochad b'miyad. If you find it on the 13th day, shonel matbil, then you have to be worried that maybe it's tameh, because he was not yet tovel, and therefore you have to tovel it yourself. Wait for Erev Shemesh and use it on the 14th. The kofitz is basically an axe. Bein mizeh, bein bezeh, shono matbil. Whether you find it on the 13th day, whether you find it on the 14th day, you have to go ahead and be tovel, because the kofitz was not used to break the bones of the korban pesach. You're not allowed to break the bones of the korban pesach. You are allowed to break the bones of the korban chagiga, and the korban chagiga was brought on the 15th day. So even if you find it on the 14th day, it might still be tameh, and he's waiting to be tovel at that day. So you have to assume it's tameh, and you have to be tovel. Chalar basar lios b'Shabbos. Let's say the 14th day of Nisan fell out on Shabbos, and on Shabbos you're not allowed to be tovel kelim. Shochet b'miyad. Even the kofitz, right? Even though he's only using it on the 15th day, he can't be tovel on the 14th. He must have been tovel on the 13th. Therefore, he can use it. B'chamisha shochet b'miyad. If you find any of these things on the 15th day, or a kofitz on the 15th day, you could be shecht with it. You could shecht with this kofitz, even though it might break bones. Because, again, you can't be tova. It must have been hutbala me'esmal. It must have been went to the mikvah on yesterday. And Nimse is kshura sakin, harezuk is sakin. Another kula, if you found the kofitz, which is basically an axe, which was apparently was used for shechting the animals. However, it would break the bones of the animals. So if you found it attached to a knife, even if you found it already on the 14th day, right? We said the knife you find on the 14th, a knife for shchita you found on the 14th, right? It must have been hutbala me'esmal, so therefore if you find in one package tied together the kofitz and the sakin, since the sakin must have went to the mikveh yesterday, the kofitz was tied to it and probably went to the mikveh yesterday also, so therefore you could use it right away. That's the conclusion of today's share. Stay tuned for Ian Mitzion, where we discuss how we go l'kula on Safek Kelim. We pass on the Rabbi Yossi over at Meir. Safek Kelim in Yerushalayim, they weren't gozer. We'll talk about that Ian Mitzion coming up next.